Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Higurashi no Naku Koroni. As you can see in the top of the screen right now, it's actually kind of bright outside. I don't usually record this when there's any kind of light coming from the outside, because I want to keep the atmosphere as scary as possible, and this music isn't helping, so I'm just going to click continue. But usually, I try to stick with trying to record at night, but I decided that I was just going to record this now because I have time in the day. As of this recording, it's the day after the election results were out. I'll just say right now, if anyone is feeling scared, don't worry. Your future is yours. Just keep looking forward. And if you're completely done with America, Canada will accept you with open arms. Our PM is really cool. He's a cool dude. Let's get on with the video so we don't end up talking politics, because that's not what this is about. Let's get into some scary shit, because all we can hope is that this game is scarier than the elections, because holy shit, those were terrifying. Sleepy. Whoa, that was a really big yawn, Keiichi-kun. I'm usually awake once it's time to eat, but doesn't look like I can do it today. I've been watching TV and I was watching TV until late last night. I'm so tired right now. Was one of those raunchy TV shows you loved so much on last night? How extremely vile! Don't jump to conclusions! It's perfectly normal for boys. Nothing to be ashamed about. Rika not patting my head only made me feel worse. Could you just let me pass out this lunch break? No, seriously? Ma, you think I would just sit here and allow that? I'll really get angry if you disturb me. Really angry. This was just dreadful. Just so sleepy. I slumped my head onto the desk and drifted off into an afternoon nap. It seemed that Satoko had responded, but I pretended not to hear her. Cut it out, Satoko-chan. Keiichi-kun fell asleep. His sleeping face so cute. You can take him home later. Let him be for now. Let's move over there. It'd be rude if it'd be rude to Keiichi if we bothered him now. Rika-chan really is a good girl. Oh. Let's not wake him up even if the teacher comes back. I take that back. The excuse that I didn't sleep much last night because I was watching TV was a lie. I was in bed at the usual time, but because of the conversation with Oishi-san that afternoon, I didn't get much sleep. Just spending the day like this, it's almost as if the incident with Tomitake-san didn't happen at all. It made me think, was Oishi-san just trying to deceive me? But it was probably the truth. One thing was certain, I couldn't speak to anyone about it. He wanted my assistance, but I didn't really know anything about it. If I knew I wasn't going to be of any help, I probably wouldn't have listened to him in the first place. It ended up with me, again, regretting learning something I didn't need to know. If I hadn't learned about it, I would without a doubt be goofing off with the rest of them now. I couldn't help but resent Oishi-san for this. Huh? When was that? I heard he wasn't there the next day. It appears he vanished at the night of the Watanagashi. Mion whispered to keep others from listening, but I could hear it clearly. On the other hand, Rena's voice was even harder to pick up. But I could still tell she was quite upset. It couldn't be. Are they talking about Tomitake-san? Really? Itake? Not sure. That's all I know. I would have to feign ignorance about this topic because I needed to keep it a secret. Rather than waking up and being forced to lie to join the conversation, it was much easier just to sit here and pretend I was asleep to listen in on their discussion. Wait, why did I have to pretend to be asleep while eavesdropping on my friend's conversation? The guilt stung. So, and me, there are others, right? Two? But they don't know if it's from the curse or if it's this was an Onikakushi. What? Onikakushi. Onikakushi? To be hidden away by a demon? So that's what it means? Oh, that's fucked. What a mysterious phrase. I did, however, get the feeling it meant nothing good. There was another, right? Right? If it's Oyashiro-sama's, yeah. But, this year, at all? Grandma and the mayor had talked about it. Seems they talked to the police about it beforehand. They said they'd take care of whatever happens this year without causing a commotion. Then, without us knowing it, someone had... them, you mean? Maybe. Next could me, I wonder? Don't worry. You got home safely. But is not allowed, right? That was a long time ago. Let's stop talking about this. Amidst the conversation, uncomfortable mood, both of them went silent. The entirety of the conversation was a bit unclear, but a few parts caught my attention. First of all, the term Onikakushi. To be demoned away. By the context it was used in, I would guess it's similar to being spirited away. I suspected that was what it meant because Tomitake-san and the woman, it really bugged me that I don't know her name, vanished after the Watanagashi. The next thing that stuck me out was when Rena said there was another one, right? Mion also said, if it's Oyashiro-sama's, yeah, responding to something. But if it's Oyashiro-sama's curse, then there had to be 2 victims. Is that what she meant? Come to think of it, I remember Mion saying that at the beginning that they didn't know if it was from the curse or if it was a case of Onikakushi. It seemed that the curse and being demoned away are different things, and they were a phenomenon that were paired together. I recall Tomitake-san's terrible death. That wasn't something as elegant as disappearing. That horrendous end would best as described as cursed. Then the woman with him, it means she vanished away because she was demoned away? What I do know is that there's normally an even number of victims of the curse proper. And the last point that bothered me was Rena. Rena was frightened. For what reason I didn't know. However, she knew that something had made her a potential target for Oshiro-sama's curse. If I recalled correctly, Oshiro-sama should be the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. Isn't a guardian deity supposed to defend the citizens and drive out invaders? If I recall correctly, yesterday Oishi-san said that originally the targets were enemies of the village, but recently there were no longer any distinction between them or regular outsiders. But if that was the case, then I would think that I'd be more likely target, having moved here more recently than Rena. From her composure, I would infer that she was grimly certain that she would be next. I would probably relay what I heard just now to Oishi-san, informing the police of what I heard by eavesdropping on my friends while pretending to be asleep. It made me feel terrible. It raised a few questions and left me with a bad taste in my mouth. Would it be better not to seek the answers to those questions? As I continued to learn more and more, I felt like I had fallen past the point of no return. I would definitely regret this one day. I would definitely regret ever having learned of these events. The teacher approaches! Keiichi-san! You must awaken! In the distance, I could hear the ringing of the handbell signaling the start of afternoon classes. Yeah, I couldn't sleep at all! I hastily opened my eyes and raised my head up. It was in that moment that I leaned against the back of my seat. Oh! There was a thumbtack stuck at the back of my chair with tape. Ow! Circumstantial evidence was enough. Satoko! Guilty without trial. Capital punishment. I furiously jumped out from my seat. And as I tripped I tripped as my feet were tangled up. My shoelaces had been tied together! Not bad, Satoko. While I was sleeping, you were able to conceal your presence and able to pull off this fine piece of work. The teacher came in right as I was pull off my shoes and tackle Satoko. Oh ho ho! Did you not notice that our teacher has arrived, Keiichi-san? Take your seat. Chomp chomp, wish, boof. Not caring one bit, I made her eat a flick to the forehead. Wah! Keiichi-san is being mean. Hey! Well, don't pick on the younger kids, Maibara-kun. Apologize to her. I saw Totoko sting her tongue out at me, that little brat. Come on, my Barakun. Yeah, I'll apologize. Sorry, Satoko-san. In any case, I apologize even if it was in the completely insincere tone of voice. Damn her, I'll remember this. Kei-chan, get your revenge at the club meeting. Take your seat. I sat down after Mion told me to. She switched to the class representative mode. Oh, where are we at? We in classroom still? With the boring classes finished, and school was finally over for the day. Now then, what should we do for club today? Personally, I would like to play that deduction game one more time. I was hardly able to play last time because of Oishi-san. Ren and I weren't even able to test out our strategy. That's right, today Keiichi and I will be victorious. What should we do? We've never played the same game 2 days in a row before. Why not try asking me? Mion looked over her shoulder as we made eye contact. She slowly tapped her palm on her fist as her face suddenly lit up. Oops! I completely forgot. I need to go help my uncle today. Sorry guys, not today. Helping your uncle? Aren't you just a little goody two-shoes? Sorry, really. I really did forget. Well then, sorry guys. This old man's heading back home now. Mion left us with that and rushed off as the exit to the exit after snatching up her bag. You see, Mi-chan, she sometimes goes to help at her uncle's shop in town. I thought she wasn't the type to get caught up in such bothersome stuff. She said that she gets paid for it. It's quite a bit of spending money from what I hear. I see. She's able to pay for that mountain of games with what she saved up for there. Well, I see. She was able to pay for that mountain of games with what she saved up from there. But wouldn't you call that a part-time job? Isn't that against school policy? There's a clause that states family businesses are excluded. Is that what she's calling it? So what now? Pass on the club today? So we're done today, I guess? Want to be fine even without the club president? Let's do this. I opened the club locker and began searching for the deduction game from that ever-growing pile of games. Ah, here it is. The deduction game from yesterday. Man, I had to just stop just as I was getting the hang of it. At the very least, I wanted to repay Satoko for what she did during the afternoon break. I do not mind. But is that fine for Ren-san and Rika? If Keiichi wants to so badly, I wouldn't mind playing for a bit. I think it's better if we do it when we have everyone together. When she says it like that, I wanted to go shopping if there wasn't a club meeting today. Going to buy soy sauce and other things. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot. Well, I guess since it's been a while, I should go treasure hunting. What's this now? Everyone is no longer in the mood for club activities. If I kept on trying to push the matter, it may take them to realize I had a trick up my sleeve. Ah, well, I'll give up this time. Man, I was really looking forward to playing it. I shuffled through the cards as I was still caught up on it. At the next opportunity, I shall give you a sound thrashing. Ho ho ho. The murderous Satoko-chan. The murder weapon is the pistol. It was you after all. What did you say? Then I'll just... Satoko looked through the cards on the desk and stuck out 3 of them at me. The nerder is Keiichi. In the lounge with the rope. I don't need no rope. I'll just strangle you like this. No! Keiichi-san is such a beast. Whew. Well, I guess it's good that I got out of that out of my system. I'll remember this, Keiichi-san. She was used as a plaything for quite a while. How unfortunate. Ah, cute, cute. Everyone got ready to go back home. I also helped gather up the scattered cards. I suddenly paused. They were just the suspect cards, but I noticed something strange. Rena, Satoko, Rika, Keiichi, Mion, Satoshi. There's another... What? Satoshi? Not all the cards were made by us. Or at least every card besides this one has the name of a club member. Does that mean that this Satoshi fellow is a member? Was there someone in this class named Satoshi? I couldn't find anyone named Satoshi on the class roster stuck up on the wall. Keiichi-kun, let's hurry and finish cleaning up. Being rushed by Rena, I finished up quickly. Satoko and Rika-chan had already headed merrily for their lockers, so we were the only ones left in this classroom. Right now, Rena had already gotten her bag and was ready to leave. Rena, there must be quite a few people who transferred from this school, right? I tried asking Rena in a bit of a roundabout way. Rena made a troubled face and then answered. Yeah. Hinamizawa is a rural town, right? Some people transfer out every now and then. Then is Satoshi another one of those transferees? Sorry. I don't really know. There was a bit of a pause, but the answer was pretty much immediate. I'm not saying it to be mean. Just last year, I transferred in, so maybe I just missed him. So I didn't hear much about him. Sorry. What? I'm not sure. Sorry. Her answer was a lot like when she refused to tell me about the murder at the dam. I was saddened by her denial and felt a little bit of anger. I'm their friend, aren't I? Friends don't keep secrets from their friends, do they? Though I do appreciate that they kept that unsettling cursed thing from me. But if everyone is worried about it, I'd rather be worried with them. That's what it means to be friends, right? For a moment, I wondered just what kind of face I was making just then, with these mixed feelings of sadness and annoyance. Keiichi-kun, you're making a scary face. Why is it? Why? It was probably exactly the kind of face Rena said it was. It appeared my grim expression had frightened her. Sorry. I was really looking forward to the club today. I'm just feeling down about it. I wrestled Rena's hair. Let's go home. Dragging that awkward mood with us, we headed home. I wonder why. Why have I been getting this dumb feeling lately? I didn't know anything. I had nothing to worry about. I was just enjoying my everyday life. My long, outstretched shadow gave no answer to my naive inquiry. Keiichi-kun, are you tired, maybe? Maybe? Rena timidly questioned the reason behind my mood. I'm sure my expression made the situation even more unsettling. You think so? Yeah. You seem to have been a little out of it ever since this morning. Maybe a cold? Physically, I was pretty sure I was in perfect health. It may not seem like it, but I've had perfect attendance since elementary school. Rena continued on since I didn't give her an answer. It could be that fatigue from moving has finally caught up to you. It's completely different from where you used to live after all. Of course you've gotten tired since there's so much you need to get used to and remember. Maybe that's it. Yeah, it has to be it. Rena was also like that at first too. I can tell, you know. You know? I wonder if Rena has also experienced a slight bit of alienation last year that I was feeling right now. Thinking that, I felt she was the only one who could understand how I felt. I'd like to hear about when you first came to Hinamizawa. How was it? Feeling I had been drawn into the conversation, her face suddenly brightened. Ahahaha! It was the same as Keiichi-kun. I didn't know the villagers' names at all. Mii-chan and the rest of them were all very kind, and I wasn't lonely, but I did still feel a little bit of out of place. Rena told me the details of when she had moved here. All of our first acquaintances and surprises, worries and good times. So, Satoko got you too? Yeah. There was a thumbtack put on my chair. Poke. Then with that yeah, that really takes me back. When were you invited into the club? The first day? Nah, there wasn't a club at the beginning. It was formed partway through. One day, she said we should stay after and hold a big game tournament. Come to think of it, Mion did say she was the first club president. Now I get it. This is a secret, but Michan used to be really bad at the beginning. She never win. Huh? Mion, really? I can't even imagine that. She had to do most of the penalties that she came up with. Ha ha ha. Seriously, don't tell. I can't believe Mion was like that. So she gradually transformed into the monster who uses any means necessary to win during that time? Mion at her best when she's fighting dirty. I began making more friends besides Michan after that, but yeah. It might have only been since you moved here that I'd finally felt like I had gotten used to it here. I guess Rena had also been left in the dark about Oyashiro-sama when she had just moved here. I guess when they finally told me about Oyashiro-sama, I'd be considered one of them. I wonder when I'd finally be considered one of them. Huh? Did you say something? No. Sorry. Just talking to myself. Aha, Keiji-san, you're so silly. Rena was poking fun and laughing at me, and I couldn't help but laugh as well. But I suddenly stopped. Then after making up my mind, I spoke. Hey, Rena. Is there something that everyone is keeping from me? Huh? No, not at all. You're lying, aren't you? Whoa, we're pushing, aren't we? Rena suddenly stopped. Her expression was cold and intense. What do you mean by that, Keiichi-kun? Her tone was still the same cheery and lighthearted one as before. You are, aren't you? Keeping something from me. After understanding what I meant, her expression grew even more intense. Seeing that face, I regretted saying something so rash. But when she came back at me in a way I didn't expect. What? What? Oh no. I just got really scared the moment her face changed. Well then, Keiichi-kun. Aren't you keeping something from us? Huh? Her tone didn't change, but it was the first time I'd seen this expression from Rena. With how her gaze pierced through me, I couldn't believe this was the same Rena. Aren't you? Lies or secrets? Aren't you? You are. Secrets. She didn't actually say that part, but she looked as if she did. The incident with Tomitaki-san and how I felt alienated from the group. Even though, having to think about it, there were things that I knew that I felt guilty about, but I didn't tell everyone about what happened with Tomitaki-san to be considerate. I was keeping a secret just the same way they didn't tell me about Oyashiro-sama. Then, aren't we even? No, I'm not. No lies. Nor secrets. Liar. Her answer was instant and it shook me. Rena stared as if burrowed through me, watching me like a hawk. Why would you say I'm lying? Didn't you say that you were called into the teacher's room yesterday during the club meeting, Keiichi-kun? I know. You didn't go to the teacher's room. I swallowed hard. It clearly wasn't a bluff. She knew what happened. Oh my god! The scary shit is starting! The teacher said you had a guest, didn't she? But you didn't talk at the entrance. You talked inside the car near the school gate. With some man I don't know. Oh my god. Rena knew everything. She knew that I was called up by Oishi-san and that I heard about the incident with Tomitaki-san as well. Did she know all of it? Exactly who was that man? I don't know him. Why did someone you don't know have business with you? I want to know that myself. Then what did you talk about? It has nothing to do with you guys. It was a lie. Lies! Oh my god. She broke. Rena screamed, echoed through the trees, sending frightening birds into the air. I couldn't exhale the deep breath I had just taken. No, it was like I wasn't allowed to exhale. It was here I first realized. The person in front of me, she wasn't Rena Ryugu. Then who was it that was standing before me now? Who had assumed Rena Ryugu's appearance? I had held my breath for so long, I could feel myself suffocating. Right? And then she made a facial expression that Rena normally might have made. It didn't matter that it was Rena's usual smile, it chilled me to the bone. She drew closer to me. I felt her breath against my face. It wasn't the least bit exciting. Whoever this was with Rena's face was going to chew my nose right off. I cowered as I imagined that. And then she smirked as if she was able to see right through me. We also have secrets, just like how Keiichi-kun has secrets. It was Rena's usual smile, but her eyes were still like that of a hawk's. Bringing her face close enough to mine also bumped into my nose. She kindly persuaded me. I couldn't nod or shake my head. This person standing in front of me, this person who looked like Rena, frightened me to the core. I was terrified knowing that she could hear the sound of me swallowing nervously. After what felt like an eternity, after a long empty silence, she finally spoke. Oh God. Let's go. It's getting chilly. It was Rena again. Smiling at me once more, she started walking as if nothing at all had happened. When I was released from her gaze, my legs gave out from under me and I slumped onto the ground. I was unable to lift a finger until Rena was out of sight. Who was that? I felt cold. My body was drenched in sweat. I was finally able to form a coherent thought and ask myself once again, who was that person who looked like Rena Ryugu? Holy shit, man. Things are getting fucked. My heart can't take it. I got so scared. Is the chapter over? It's still black. What's going on? It's not over. We're at home. Okay. I was out of it and couldn't bring myself to do anything until dinner except stare blankly into space. Was I terrified from Rena going off on me? No, that's not right. There was someone else who only... That was someone else who only looked like Rena. Then who could it have been? It was a dreadful feeling. Knowing that was someone else, not Rena, so tomorrow I couldn't have a problem talking to Rena like I usually do. That thought was strangely comforting. I concluded that I should just calm down and clear my head. Though those thoughts continued swirling around my mind. Finally, I returned to my senses as I heard my mother calling out to me from the bottom of the steps. Keiichi! It's a call from the bookstore. Bookstore? Can't think of why they'd call me. I went downstairs and picked up the receiver anyway. My apologies for calling so late at night. It's me, Oishi of the Okinomiya bookshop. Oichi-san? Oh, it's Oishi-san. Sorry. Since your parents picked up, I said I was from the bookstore. It puts people off when I say I'm a police officer. Oishi-san was, in his own way, rather courteous. Even so, I didn't want my parents hearing me talk to the police. I brought the cordless phone with me as I dashed back up to my room on the second floor. Sorry for calling so late. That phone number on the piece of paper I gave you yesterday was the old number. My apologies. Can you copy down the number I'm about to give you? Yeah. Okay. He gave me the number for his direct line as I wrote it down. I thought that was the end of it, but he began making pointless small talk, and it was pretty hard to hang up. So, how's it been, Maibata-san? Did anything strange happen recently? I see. This was the real reason. He really beat around the bush there. His adult conversation skills left me slack-jawed. Are you from around here, Oishi-san? Yeah, I am. Born and raised in Okinomiya. If he's around here, you might know. Oishi-san. Do you know what this Onikakushi thing is? I believe that's when somebody suddenly vanishes because they've been abducted by a demon. It's a special saying from around here. It has the same meaning as spirited away, like everyone else says. Whereas my friends would say they didn't know when I asked, this old man gave me a proper answer. It made me a bit happy that he answered me directly without trying to hide anything. Hinamizawa was, I'm not sure if I should tell you this, my Bada-san. Don't try to play this off. If you're not going to talk, then I'm not going to tell you anything. No. That's not what I meant. It's just, it may make you feel bad. You see, long ago, Hinamizawa was feared as the village where demons reside. Demons? By demons you mean those pitchfork-carrying things in hell? More like human-eating monsters. They'd go down to villages, snatching people up and gobbling them down. That kind of tale. Demon snatching up people is what this Onikakushi really means. They said that the curse had been demoned away. They said that the curse and being demoned away happened together. What does that mean? I already knew about the mysterious deaths happening 5 years in a row, but I don't know why there were people disappearing for those same 5 years. The curse and being demoned away happened together? First time I've heard of that. Is that how it is, my Bada-san? That's what I want to know. I heard Rena and Mion talking. They said that if it really was Oishiro-sama's curse, then both the curse and demoning away would happen. Oishi-san began hemming and hawing on the other end of the receiver. Maybe something about that came to mind? My Bada-san, do you know the first incident? The murder of dismemberment? Yeah. One of the 6 perpetrators is still on the run, right? Hypothetically, what if he isn't on the run, but was demoned away? Huh? It was an outrageous hypothesis from Oishi-san. The incident 4 years ago was a particularly ghastly one. The police already knew the perpetrators, so they posted tons of wanted posters with his face on them. Fuck, I can't stop looking behind me, because I'm fucking terrified of life right now. I get really jumpy. Scary games especially, I get really jumpy. Like, I have to look around, confirm if there is anyone else around, because especially when I'm playing scary games in the dark. When I'm playing scary games in the light, I'm able to see shadows, so that doesn't make it too hard. But when it's in the dark, I'm sitting here fucking scared as hell. I'm not good with these things. So why did I decide this was a good idea? Let's see. The incident 4 years ago was a particularly ghastly one. The police already knew the perpetrators, so they posted tons of wanted posters with his face on them. They stalked out various locations and investigated every possible escape route he had. But after 4 years, there wasn't even a single hint of where he might be. Unless the police are completely incompetent. Even if it was an outrageous hypothesis, I couldn't simply laugh it off. Then what about the incident the next year, of the man when the man who reported it hit the project and his wife both died in an accident? Well, actually, it was only the husband who died in an accident. His wife's body was never surfaced. Unless we find the body, then it's considered a missing person by law. At the time of the incident, and with the river below, the cliff being muddy rapids, the police divers had searched every branch off the main stream of the river for dozens of miles, and in the end they weren't able to find her body. But that's just them not being able to find the body. She's still dead, right? Isn't it different from her being demoned away? We cannot say someone is dead without their body. Unless a certain number of years pass, by law she's treated as still alive. I'm not sure if it was right to call that being demoned away. The wife is missing. At least that part was reality. How about the 3rd year? The Shinto priest died of illness, and his wife committed suicide? My Bada-san, that's actually the exact same scenario. The wife had supposedly thrown herself off the bottomless marsh deep into the forest around Hinamizawa, meaning it's all circumstantial evidence. They simply found her suicide note in front of the marsh. A diver was able to recover a few remnants, but they weren't able to find her body. Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. The investigative headquarters believed that she had faked her death and was still alive somewhere. I'm not sure if we could call those cases as being demoned away. It's just as you've said, every year one person goes missing. The incident this year, the woman with Tomitaka-san has gone missing. Then what about the incident with the housewife being to death? Who went missing? I believe the perpetrator was caught, right? Yeah, we arrested him. He was just a miscreant with a record of narcotic abuse. He admitted to the crime while being questioned about a different incident. But, well, you see, after he was arrested, a child from the victim's home went missing. It's still under investigation. As to whether the disappearance had anything to do with the crime, but you said you caught him, right? Did he have an accomplice? No idea. It's considered a separate case. Moreover, we can't even check now, because while under investigation, that man, he died in his holding cell. He swallowed a spork and choked to death. It's not known whether it was an accident or suicide, meaning for the last 5 years, there's always one person who dies and one who goes missing? That's about right. No, actually, I'm surprised as well. I never realized they had that in common. I couldn't believe that this could help lead the closing of those incidents. It was just something that they had in common. Could it be that those demoned away have something in common? Oishi-san mumbled as he seemed to be thinking about it. So I summarized the events. The first year was the dam employee. Second year was the wife of a dam project supporter. Third year was the wife of the Shinto priest. Fourth year was the victim's family child. And the fifth year was the victim's girlfriend, I guess. It doesn't seem like there's anything that connects them. With the exception of the first year, wives and girlfriends, those do stand out. It does seem like there are a lot. Then that means the fourth year's victim child was different. It would have been would really have stood out if they were all married couples. Except it's not just married couples, but parents and children as well. Come to think of it, I believe Tomitake-san also told me the younger brother is alive and has moved, if I recall correctly. The child that went missing in the fourth year, who were they? Apparently he was quite mature. 1 year older than you. His name was Satoshi Hojo-san! I knew. The moment the game paused, I was like, they're gonna fucking say Satoshi, aren't they? Satoshi! Huh? Satoshi? I remember that name. Didn't they tell me Satoshi transferred out last year? He was at your school trip until last year. He was at your school up until last year. Didn't they tell you anything about him? Come to think of it, when I transferred in, I believe they said that my seat belonged to a recent transfer student. Then, where I sat once belonged to the one who was demoned away? It was his seat? I recall the cold sensation that came from my desk. It made my hair stand on end. The string of mysterious deaths. No, Oishiro-sama's curse. I now knew how it connected to me. The chilling sensation, it was the feeling of Oishiro-sama caressing to the back of my neck. Oh god. Oishiro-sama's curse. Huh? Could Oishiro-sama's curse really exist? In all honesty, I was beginning to believe it. And I was scared. That was why I wanted to say it. It was a plot crafted by man and not the work of a curse. But the more I dug into it, the less likely that seemed. No, the more I dug, the more mysterious it became. If I kept digging eventually, I'd reach the point where I'd learned something I really shouldn't have known. To either be none the wiser or seek an answer I may regret, which one would I be happier with? Maybe it'll be me next time. My execution could only be delayed for 1 year. Oh god. That was when I remembered. Rena. Rena said she may be the next victim of the curse. Do you mean Rena Ryugu-san? She transferred in last year and she's your classmate, isn't she? These incidents really might be a bit too disturbing for a girl. She's not just scared, is she? It wasn't that. She might said it might be her next. She said it in a way that made me think she had a concrete reason behind it. It felt like she was convinced. Almost as if, you could say, she was frightened. Her sudden change in demeanor. That someone who looked like Rena but wasn't Rena. That might be unrelated. All the strange things that I felt from Rena today come back to me. I see. Then I'll be doing a bit of investigation on this end. Please continue observation of Ryugu-san, Maibara-kun, or Maibara-san. Are you asking me to keep Rena under surveillance? That's not what I mean, Maibara-san. I just want you to watch out for your friend, so she doesn't end up the next victim. At that moment, just as my mouth was agape, because I was so impressed with the mature, clever way with words. Knock, knock. A sudden knock at my door sent my heart racing. At an instant, I had pointlessly covered up the end of the receiver. Keiichi, get the door, please. On the other side of the door, I heard my father's oddly upbeat voice. What could it be? It's so late. Sorry, my bad. My dad just came in. Can we leave it at this for tonight? Yeah. My apologies again for calling so late. If you find out anything, please let me know. I'll tell you if I made any progress on this end. Well then, have a pleasant evening. Keiichi, hurry and open up. Daddy's got his hands full. What is Dad doing? I had stayed the same position while on the phone the whole time, so my joints were aching. When I opened the door, I saw my father standing there with a tray. On the tray, cookies and 2 cups of black tea, a fairly fancy spread for our household. There was even sugar and lemon slices on the side, everything you could ask for. This was quite the show of hospitality. What's going on, Dad? What's all this for? Come now, don't play around, Keiichi. I'm coming in. Dad was in high spirits and had a smirk on his face. What's going on? I have a feeling something weird is gonna happen. But for my entire life, I've never seen him act as hospitable. What has gotten into him? So, what were you talking about? I jumped. It's not something I had to keep from my father. But how could I explain to him I was talking to a detective, I'm assuming he was, late at night? Nothing much. Just a friend. I don't mean on the phone. She was here, wasn't she? Rena-chan? What?! She wasn't here. Come now, don't try to keep it from me. She just came over to play. You two were chatting away, so I thought I'd bring some tea, but looks like I just missed her. I had no idea what Dad was talking about. But a cold sweat dripped down my back. How long were we talking? Rena-chan went upstairs about half after, so it was close to an hour, I guess. You saw her come up to the 2nd floor? Yeah, I did. I also told her that your room was the door down to the hall upstairs. Rena came to her room about an hour ago. Dad met her at the door and called out to me on the 2nd floor. I probably didn't hear him because I was so focused on the conversation with Oishi-san. I didn't reply, but I knew I was in my room. But he knew I was in my room, so he had her come inside, then told her my room was on the 2nd floor. She thanked my dad and went upstairs. Then about an hour passed. She passed by my dad just as he was bringing up tea and left. She came upstairs and about an hour passed. Then passed by my dad and returned home. Then, after she came upstairs and until she left, where was Rena? There was only a short hallway between my room and the stairs. Meaning, Rena had, for about an hour, in the hall? No, she couldn't have been standing in front of my door all that time. The door to my room wasn't particularly thick. You could easily hear everything being said inside. All the ominous things and all that nonsense I spoke to Ayushi-san about began rushing through my head. Honey, don't tease him. More importantly, you need to clean up your studio. It's a mess again. Mom yelled at Dad from downstairs. Dad left the tray with me and went downstairs with a disappointed chortle. I followed my dad out of my room with my eyes. I looked down at the floor around the doorway where Rena might have stood all the time. Just now, as I was talking to Oishi-san, with my back turned, Rena was standing a mere 6 feet away. The whole time? All that time, in this dimly lit doorway? What did she see? What did she hear? For what reason? As the steam from 2 teacups ominously wafted and whistled, the aroma of black tea filled my room. Man, ever since Watanabe, things have never been the same. Holy shit, man. What are my tips? We got 1 tip. Noticing the police chief. Holy. July 1st, 1982. To the departments 1 through 12. XX Prefectural Police Headquarters. Director General XXX. To the Chief Constable and all faculty members, or facility members, regarding case situations in the Hinamizawa village, notice. As cases in Shinshibone City, Hinamizawa village have been reported by certain sections of mass media. It has drawn global attention, which has caused serious repercussions for the local residents. This has become a very serious situation. To protect the livelihood and property of the residents, the following notice has been issued. 1. Designate the following criminal investigations as classified. Okonomiya Station 1982 case number X. Hinamizawa Village housewife murder dated June XX. Okonomiya Station 1982 case number X. Hinamizawa Village student disappearance dated June XX. 2. Non-disclosure of information. Okonomiya Station 1979 case number X. Hinamizawa Village site foreman dated June XX. Shira Station 1980 case murder X. Shira Natural Park falling incident dated June XX. Okonomiya Station 1981 case murder X. Hinamizawa Village Shinto priest wife's disappearance dated June XX. Requesting self-restraint from each organization concerning the release of sensitive information. Please see the attached reference materials 1, 2, and 3. Management XX Prefecture Police Headquarters. Internal Line XXXX. Police Affairs Department XXXX. I think so far, this has been the scariest episode of Higurashi no Naku Koroni. Things are getting so scary. I thought Watanagishi was scary. I thought the episode before this one was kind of scary. Today we saw Rena fucking freak out at us. And she was standing outside our room the whole time we were talking to Oishi-san, so... Oh no, I cannot guess what's gonna happen in the next episode. I don't know! But all I do know is that in the next episode, things are gonna get fucking intense. Thank you guys for watching! We're gonna get hyped next episode for some Higurashi, because things are getting good! Things are getting dark! Just like we wanted, but oh no, I'm already regretting praying for it. So thank you guys for watching. It's gotta be maybe out. See you guys next time.